Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Attitudes with Andy. I am super duper excited for this episode. I really think it's going to pump you guys up. So if you're new here, welcome to the party. This is a place where we get to learn and be inspired by other people on how we can be our best selves. So I get really awesome guests on, if I do say so myself, to teach us a thing or two that we can implement. So today's episode, if you are looking for discipline, how to build discipline, if you're looking for a fun challenge or you're just looking for a sprinkle of motivation and inspiration, then boy oh boy, this podcast is for you. Today we are talking about 75 hard. Now, what is that, Andy? Good question. The 75 hard challenge is, I think it's famous on TikTok. Is it famous on TikTok? Oh, shakes head, doesn't know. Okay, I've seen it on TikTok. Anyway, and it's basically a challenge that is pretty insane. So let me explain what it is. So for 75 days, you have to do 2 45-minute workouts every single day. One of them has to be outside. You have to follow a healthy diet, whatever that means to you. You get no cheat meals or alcohol. You take progress photos every day. You drink a gallon of water every day, which is almost 4 liters of water. And then you read 10 pages of a non-fiction book. So that is a lot to do every single day, especially the 2 workouts. So anyway, I am going on a rampage, but today I have my beautiful friend Jamieson Herring, who is a very disciplined man who just completed this task. So we will be hearing all about it and how we can implement it, or maybe aspects of it, what he learned from it, and so much more. So welcome, Jamieson.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
How you doing?
How are you feeling? You had a cheat meal the other day once you finished this.
It was amazing. It was the most incredible thing in my life. The first bite, at least, was amazing.
Yeah.
And then after about the 15th bite, I was just like, oh, give me an apple.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Your taste buds have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like I was walking through Woolies the other day, and I was like walking through, going do my weekly shop, and I walked past the lolly aisle, and I was like, oh, I can get whatever I want. So I just looked down, and I was just like, oh, I don't want anything in here. So I just kept walking down the other way, and I was just like, oh, looks like I've changed for the better, I guess.
That's king energy, and that's the end of our podcast.
Yep. See you later.
It's just changed
Tune in
his
next
taste
time.
buds. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So 75 hard, no, 75 hard. That's a bit of a beast of a challenge. I remember seeing that and I was like, who the fuck would do that? Because it's a lot of time commitment as well. So
Yes.
first of all, what made you want to take on this challenge?
So I initially attempted it 6 months ago or something. I just started a new job and I attempted it. I got about 6 days in and I failed because it was too hard. Like I was working in hospitality and it was just working nights and it was so hard and I just didn't have a routine and that was the hardest part. And so I failed and that was fine or whatever. And so I was living my life and then one night I had a friend over and housemates were all talking and my friend, I was like, guys, why don't we do 75 hard? And I was just like, that's not a bad idea. It's better to do it with other people than just by yourself, you know?
Yeah.
So we did. We started so her birthday was a Saturday, so we started on a Sunday. Now, the thing with that was we looked at the days, and 75 days from that Sunday was like today or just after Christmas. We're like, oh, shoot. So we decided instead we're going to do 69 hard because, 69, it's funny. And also, we finished just before Christmas, like literally the day before Christmas. Yeah. So
one would call that Christmas Eve.
Some people do call it. I'm not sure who, but some would call it Christmas Eve. Or if you're from anywhere else in the world, that's just Christmas, pretty much.
True. Yeah.
Exactly. So we decided we'd do 69 hard instead, because again, it's funny. So we did that. And I was still working the same job as the first attempt that I did. So still in hospitality, still doing everything. But this time I was like, I had a bit more idea of what my schedule was. I could put more effort in. And I planned it. I actually planned this one instead of just doing it the next day. So we got into it. It started with 3 and then it ended with 1. And I think that was half the reason why I kept going to the end. Because it's like, I want to be the one that made it all the way through.
Yes.
I want to be that one person who got to the end. Because I know lots of other people who have attempted challenges like this, and they haven't made it through.
Mm.
I know some people who have. Some of our friends have.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know a lot more people who haven't done it. And that's like, okay, well, I don't want to be one of those ones who haven't done it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I got to do this for myself. And that was pretty much it, because you can't do it for anyone else. It's that long of a time and it's that hard of a challenge that you can't do it for anything else but yourself.
Yeah, because it's just like, even just doing that for a week is a lot, but then 10 weeks is like, because I think it's so easy for people just to be like listening like, oh yeah, like 75 days or 69 days, sorry. But then it's like, no, that's actually a lot. Do you feel like you have a newfound like level of trust in yourself now because you kept such a big promise?
Yeah, I think that's half the reason why I kept going. It's like, it's not for the health benefits. Like, I'm reasonably fit and healthy anyway. Yeah. But this was more for, the mental, like the health benefits. Okay, Jamieson, you can actually do this. You can get through it. You can push through this. And because I've never done anything like that before. There's like a lot of times and trainings and races where I've just quit. And I've just stopped. Yeah.
Wait, in races?
Not during the races, but like the training for it, or like stopping doing it and everything. It's like, well, I don't want to keep being a quitter, you know? I want to do something and accomplish something big and something that will push me through and keep me going and inspire me and others to keep going. So
definitely,
I think that's what helped keep me going. And then I got to a point, it was like a week or two to go, where I'm like, I'm this close to finishing. It's like I literally could not fail. It was impossible for me to fail. Because I which was a downside as well, because I just wouldn't let myself fail. I would also be less organized.
Oh, because you're like, I will do it, but I might be at the gym at 11 o'clock at night.
That's exactly right. And so it's like, on Fridays and Saturdays, I start work at 11 a.m. and I don't finish work till like 10:30, 11 p.m.
Oh, no.
So I have to do, ideally, I have to do both my workouts before like 10:30 in the morning before I leave for work. And there were some days where I wouldn't do that. So I would get home from work at 10:30. Well, I still got 2 workouts to do. And so I would spend that last hour and a half before midnight going for a walk, going to the gym, doing whatever I had to do to get my 2 workouts in.
Because one of them has to be outside.
And because one of them had to be outside.
It's not like you can just do like, oh yeah, a HIIT session and a weight session.
Exactly. No, one of them had to be outside. So I went for a lot of walks. My step count on average over like the past 69 days was like 13,000.
Fuck yeah.
From work and just from doing a walk, doing a run or anything. It was a lot.
Yeah. So what would like an average day? Okay, let's talk about when you first started and you were organized. What would like a normal day look like, including all of that? Like when would you work out, read, drink all your water, all of that?
Well, because each day my schedule was different. Each day the plan was different. But let's go like on a Wednesday. So on a Wednesday, this challenge would be like my normal day. So on Wednesdays and Mondays, it would be pretty easy. So Wednesday, I wake up, go to the Brotherhood, do my Wednesday morning workout at the beach. Pretty easy. Well, not easy because I'm tired from waking up early.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's my first workout done. And then after that, I'll probably go shopping and do like a meal prep shop for the week.
Nice.
And then I head to work at 11, do a couple hours. It's only a short day, so I'd start at 11, finish around 2:30, 3 o'clock. And so it's a little bit of work. And then at around 4:15, I do my second workout. And once I finish that, it's like, boom, my day is pretty much done. I just had to drink all my water, which was a lot, and read my book, which sometimes I forgot to do until like 11 o'clock.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant sometimes I forgot to do it.
No. I definitely never. Like sometimes I honestly think, like looking back at it now, I'm like, I had to have failed at some point. But in the app, you tick it off as you do it.
Oh, there's an app?
Yeah, there's an app, you do. And so you tick it off as each thing as you go throughout the day. So I couldn't fail. Because in my head, I just don't believe that I could do something like this. But I'm like, well, but I did.
What book were you reading? Or how many books did you get through?
I read a few books. So the first book I read was called Breath by James Nestor.
I've heard of that one.
Very good book, talking about breathing and how humans breathe wrong and how we can breathe better. Lots of different stuff. Second book I read was Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. Incredible book. Read it. Jay, if you're listening to this, shout out.
Can you come on my podcast?
Come on the podcast, please. Yes, that was an incredible book. That was my second time reading it. And then my third
I love
book,
rereading books.
Yeah.
And then you pick up different things each time. You're like, wow.
Well, because that was a book, the first time I went through it, I highlighted some bits. So I'm reading through again, I'm like, oh, why did previous Jamieson highlight these bits? Then I would think back to the first time I was reading it, like, okay, what state of mind was I in compared to what state of mind I'm in now? And it would be nice reflection. And then the third book I read was The Secret by Rhonda Byrne.
So good.
Yeah. So I only just finished that one again. That was my second time reading that book as well. So I finished that one, I don't know, like towards the very end. And then the last like 2 or 3 days of the challenge, I started a brand new book called The Body by someone. Bill Bryson, that's it. Bill Bryson, if you're listening, go to bed.
Go to bed.
I don't know. He's an old guy.
Oh.
Yeah. So The Body by Bill Bryson. I kind of wish I started that earlier though, because it's a very, very good book. So I guess I'll just keep reading.
It's all right. You still got time to read it.
Yeah, I'm still allowed to read, even though the challenge is done. Just if I do is another question.
Yeah.
No, I like reading. So.
Have your habits already slipped?
Oh, for sure.
Well, to be fair though, it's only been like less than a week since you stopped, and it's Christmas. Yeah, exactly.
I'm thinking if I finished at any other time of the year, like middle of the year in a random time, I wouldn't have changed too much. I would have maybe drank a little bit less water, obviously taken a rest day and done some stuff. But because it's Christmas, changed a little bit.
Which is fun.
I ate a whole blueberry Danish with ice cream for breakfast the next day. I stayed inside and watched TV, and it was great. It was the first time in such a long time. Like, even before 69 Hard, I was still super busy.
Yeah.
So it was the first day in a long time where I had nothing to do.
Oh.
Didn't have a workout to go to. Didn't have water to drink. Didn't have anywhere to drive. Didn't have anything on. And it was amazing. And I felt so free. And I'm like, this is so good. I felt a little bit scared because I'm like, I'm so unproductive. Like, I can't do anything. But I embrace it because I know it doesn't come around very often.
I think a lot of people struggle with that, of like knowing when to chill, when to send it. And especially a lot of the blokes in my life talk about that, especially the Brotherhood boys.
Yeah.
And like, I relate to that. Like, sometimes when I'm chilling, I'm like, oh, I could be doing something productive. But then also sometimes when it's just like, if I don't take a break right now, I'll have a breakdown.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it's okay to chill.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you could be doing something, but you could also be not doing something. And that's I think that's the beauty of it. You got a choice there between, like, okay, I could work on editing a podcast, or I could do this, that. But instead, I'm just going to choose to sit and reflect with myself. And I think that's the beauty of what we get to do.
Yeah. But then I always say, especially to the blokes, I'm like, yeah, but chill time is productive for me. Like, when I go for a beach walk or I'm in nature and my brain is just chilling, that's when I'll be like, oh, wait, why don't I just solve this problem like this? It's like, when I'm chilling, it's like everything in the background is actually just solving itself. It's quite magical.
Well, it's like shower thoughts. Like, when you're in the shower, you're so relaxed and, like, the brain's not really functioning. That's when all the great ideas come.
I don't have shower thoughts, and I'm really jealous.
What do you
but
mean
I have heard this thing. I don't have shower thoughts. I have car thoughts. So sometimes if I need to be productive, I'll go for a drive. I really love commuting. In a train as well. Train rides get really good ideas. In motion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It must calm me.
Maybe it's like taking you back to when you were a kid and you're being pushed in the pram or held by your parents.
Driving calms me so much to the point where sometimes I have to pull over and have a nap on the way to not the Gold Coast, Brisbane.
Wow.
From driving from Gold Coast. And that's only an hour and something drive.
That's impressive. I'm impressed. What kind of car do you drive?
A little Toyota Yaris.
Nice.
His name's Dwayne.
Dwayne the Yaris Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. It's ironic. Anyway, sorry, we got distracted.
Yes, a little bit distracted.
So you had your beautiful Danish blueberry
it was so good.
cake. You stayed inside all day. Did you feel the difference though, like after eating all that sugar?
Yeah, I felt terrible.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, the first bite is great. But after that, it's just like, it gets old. It's like, well, actually, literally, after I ate that, I was like, sweet, I'm going to make my smoothie.
Yes.
So I was like, I need something.
That.
So it's like, boom, it's got all my stuff in it. It's got the hemp seeds, it's got the bananas, it's got everything, and the blueberries. And I'm just like, well, now I've eaten something healthy. I feel a little bit better now.
Yes. I'm so glad we're talking about food. Let's talk about food. It's my favorite thing. But I really love that because when people like struggle to eat healthy, I think they haven't experienced what it feels like to eat really good, like the side effects of it. Like, eat shit, feel shit. Just saying. And so like if you eat a really good whole-based diet and then you eat something that's like not as nutritious, I don't want to say good or bad because I think there's That you
It's
can
subjective,
there's
you know.
areas for both. So I don't want to be like that is bad. It's just not as nutritious.
Yes. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. So like yesterday, I had not so nutritious dinner, and I felt the effects. I had fish and chips last night, and I never usually have like oily foods.
Yeah.
And this morning, I was like, I feel hungover, but like it's so good because then it's just like I want to eat nourishing food because then
Exactly.
it like fuels my body. So anyway, that was just a random tangent. But what I want to talk about is what was the diet that you decided to follow?
So the diet that I decided, it wasn't like a diet that you really give a name to, you know. It's not like, oh, vegan, carnivore,
Jerry.
John Cena, all that kind of stuff. It wasn't
John
anything like
Cena.
that. Yeah.
Who's
it was
that?
John Cena. We're just going to move on. John Cena, if you're watching this, come on the podcast.
I don't know who you are, but you can come on.
Yeah, so the diet I followed, it was kind of just like, it was pretty basic. Oh, it was healthy. So it was like no refined sugars and all this kind of jazz. No seed oils. No, nothing fried. Nothing blatantly unhealthy.
Yeah.
And for cheat meals, it was a similar sort of thing. And for everyone, a cheat meal is something different. So the way I governed a cheat meal was like, if I'm questioning it, if I'm asking myself, is this a cheat meal? Then it was a cheat meal. So whatever I was eating, I had to be like, yep, this is good. So even if it was something like, I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but
Nachos?
Could be, yeah.
Yeah. That would be questionable because it's like, you can make it healthy.
Yeah. But you can have like a healthy version of it too.
Yeah. You make like a burrito bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably just the melted cheese that makes you feel unhealthy. But then a little bit
I
of
can
cheese.
have cheese though.
Yeah, exactly.
That was part of my diet because of it was like the good fats and everything. It depends who you talk to about the fats.
Yeah, it's subjective.
Exactly.
Or like different diets make people feel different, you know?
Yeah.
Like Sammy's good old vegan, he feels great, whereas I feel shocking on a vegan diet.
I've never tried vegan. I'll have to try it at some point.
I've tried it like 3 times and it does not like me.
Sammy, come on the podcast.
Teach me how to be a good vegan. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Well, but it's like, so basically if I was questioning it, if I was like, oh, then I was like, cool, I just won't eat it. Better safe than sorry. So I was like, sweet, I'll just cut it out. But it was fine because I only ate like the same 3 things the whole time.
Did you rotate between?
So it was my smoothie. So it was like a big 1,000-calorie smoothie.
1,000 calories?
Yeah, so it was a full meal. So it was banana, oats, Greek yogurt, raw milk, hemp seeds, protein powder, blueberries.
Blueberries.
And then at the end, like the last couple of weeks, I added black maca powder to it.
Ooh, black maca powder.
Yeah, it's what the old Incan warriors used to drink before they went into battle.
I drink maca powder, but I don't drink black maca powder.
Yeah.
Why is it black?
I have no idea. There's lots of different colours I found out.
Oh, I want a blue one.
The blue. It's probably good for you.
So you had your
Avatar.
Shout out to Avatar. Lots of shout outs this podcast. Okay, so you had your 1,000-calorie smoothie. What else did you have?
So at the start, it was my smoothie, and then I made this beef, beans, and broccoli. Pretty much it was. So I would cook my beef mince, and I put beans in. Oh, and then I would get like a taco mix.
Ooh.
And so it'd have like the taco flavoring, and then I'd throw some broccoli in there, mix it all up. And then that would be like my meal prep. So I'd microwave that or heat it over the pan. And it was really just good. It had all my stuff that I needed. It had broccoli in it, so it's good for you, I guess.
Greens.
Exactly, got to be green. It's not easy being green. And that was another one. And then usually for breakfast, depending on how organized I was, would be, because it turns out wraps have more calories than bread, which is good for me. So I was like, okay, 4 eggs, 2 wraps, and then a protein of some kind. So I might do...
Is eggs not protein?
Or like a meat protein sort of thing,
okay.
sorry. Like so
More.
More. So sometimes I'll get like what are they called? Sausages from the butcher. And so I'd like cook them up, I'd split them down the middle and lay that on the wrap and then eggs on top. And then or sometimes I'd get a hot chook and like make like an omelette with those, put them on.
Yum.
And then I'd fold them up with the wrap. Look, it didn't look the most glamorous thing in the world.
Oh, I feel like it would taste good though.
Tasted great.
Yum.
Yeah. So, but I had to look at the wraps that I was buying.
Oh.
So like Mission wraps I was looking at the supermarket. They're like this third ingredient is like canola oil. So I was like,
Oh.
I can't have that. So then I would go to the butcher, meet on James. Who would have thought? They sell wraps for some reason. Like one of the guys there, I guess, makes them.
Oh.
Yeah. So
That's so cute.
I've actually got some. I had some this morning.
Yum.
So I'd buy them, and it was great, and they were cheaper too. I would get like 14 for like $5. I'm like, that's a week's worth of wraps for like $5.
So good.
Well,
What was your grocery bill like? Did you
Um,
save money doing this because you never ate out?
I ate out a couple times.
Oh, okay.
But I made sure I ate good things. But
Yeah.
my grocery bill, I feel like it was fine. I can't really remember what it was before it. But because I was buying pretty much the same thing all the time, it was I guess it was pretty low and it was consistent. I knew what I was buying each week pretty much. But because I was buying high quality stuff, like I wasn't getting meat from the supermarket, I was getting meat from the butcher, which is like costs like not twice as much, but costs quite a bit more.
Yeah, worth it.
Yeah, and then I wouldn't buy fruit and veg from the supermarket either. I'd get that from the fruit store or the markets, and so that's a little bit more expensive.
Yeah. How much would you say you spend each week?
Probably like $80.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
No, it wasn't bad at all. I'm also only buying for one person.
I think I spend like 100.
Well, yeah, it's only eating 3 things a day.
Yeah.
Obviously, sometimes I would treat myself and get, I don't know, some dried fruit or whatever.
Yeah. A bit crazy.
Spike the blood sugar.
Did you know that, okay, I don't want to be spreading false rumors, but my but my this guy that I know, he went to check out a feedlot and they give the cows crushed up Smith chips.
Whoa.
How disgusting is that? So the cows are eating that and then we're eating the meat. So that's why like grass fed is much better.
Yeah.
Because they're not getting shit like that. I was like, Smith chips, that's actually quite swanky.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, but it's about to be expired, so I think they get really good deals.
There's some spoiled cows.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh.
I had some Smith's chips like yesterday.
How'd that make you feel?
Man, they were great. Because sometimes I would like go to parties or whatever, and I can't drink or eat any of the food there, so I can't just stand there and whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
And I still had a good time, but like I would see the chips on the table and I couldn't eat them. But I went to a Norwegian party because my housemate's Norwegian, so we celebrated Christmas the day before, and there were chips there, and I was like, I can eat them.
You're like, get my basket.
Get in my belly. And it was great. So yeah, Smith's chips, very good. In moderation, of course. If you eat a whole bag, it's not going to feel great.
Yeah. So how did you find the not drinking situation? I kind of brushed over that because I don't really like drinking. So I'm like, oh, easy. But that's not normal, especially you're 19. You're 19 years old. So that's like prime drinking time.
Yeah.
How'd you find it?
So I don't really drink.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So it wasn't too hard, except for the fact that I do work at a brewery.
Oh.
So, yeah.
If they were like, just try the drink that you made, you're like, I can't.
Well, I think that was a bit of a thing because like, as part of my job was to try the beers that we made. Like it was part of my job to tell people what the beer tasted like. So when a beer would release or drop or we'd make it, I would give it a taste. And I'm like, tastes gross. Spit it out. Because I don't like beer, so it doesn't really matter anyway. But I had to taste it. That was literally part of my job. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to fail myself because it's part of my job.
Yeah. We'll allow it. People will allow it.
Shh. Don't tell David Goggins, please.
David Joggins out.
Who's going to carry the boats? Me.
Me, I am.
Yeah, but there's no drinking. It was fine. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it at all, really.
So, discipline. Let's talk about that because I'm imagining if I did this, that it would be okay, but then the 2 workouts and like, just like, did you have days where you were like, fuck this, yes. I do not want to do this? Yeah,
so how long was the challenge? 69 days? I thought that maybe for 68 days. I was like, this sucks.
Oh, like, wow.
It wasn't bad, but it was just a lot. Like, you look at the list of challenges, it's like, yeah, sweet, that's not that hard for a day or two. Like, that's not that hard.
Yeah.
But doing it for that long, for 10 weeks, pretty much straight, no rest days, no days off, can't have a break, that's when it gets tough. And And I remember my sister, because I used to work with my sister before she moved to Japan, and she was like, Jamieson, how do I get to the gym? Like, I don't have any motivation. How do I get motivation? I'm like, screw motivation. I don't want to go. I don't want to do this. I don't want to wake up at 5 a.m. and go for a walk. I don't want to go home at 11 p.m. and go for a walk. I don't want to do that. But it's discipline. I just do it. Like, I don't have any motivation in the world at all. It would be so much easier to go to bed. Sometimes I'd fall asleep on the floor because it was just discipline. Like, some days I'd have motivation. Like I say, if I ate somehow even better the day before and I felt really good the next day, it's like, yeah, sweet. Let's get my workouts done. Let's do this. Let's drink all my water. And some days would just flow. But most days, like 75% of the days, it was just a grind. It was like, this is just what I got to do. It's my job for the day. Just got to get it done.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It was tough, but I knew on the other side of it, I did this.
Yeah. Definitely.
So it's like, that's what I said to her. I was like, motivation, it's got no play. It'll last for like a day or one workout and then it's gone again. So
yeah.
You need discipline. Like motivation, yeah, it'll get you started. Help me get me started. That's how we got into the challenge. But discipline is what kept us going, or kept me going.
Definitely. And it'll always be the thing that pushes you over because you're never ever going to feel like doing it. Like sometimes you do feel like working out and stuff, but like not, 6
not
days
twice a day,
out of
every day.
Yeah, not that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. My sister's also like, how do you have the motivation to go to the gym? I'm like, I don't. I just put on my shoes and go. Like I'm not always
it's just
pumped
something
up.
you do. You don't think, you just do.
Yeah. I find just put your clothes on, walk out the door. Don't even think about going to the gym. Just do the action.
One time I was at a party. It was towards the end. It was like day 60 or something. And I went to a Christmas party. Obviously didn't drink or anything. And I had to stay there because of reasons. And I had to stay until 2 a.m. And then I stayed the night. And then I woke up. And I didn't go to Mega Run or anything. I didn't do anything in the morning because I was busy. Had to do some drives and some trips. And so I had to do both my workouts at nighttime.
Oh, after work?
After work. Because I was busy in the morning. And I was like...
You're like, why'd I do this?
Yeah.
So impressive. So what would you say that are your top 5 takeaways? Actually, before we do this, are you glad that you did this challenge?
Yes. Of course. It sucked during, but you just got to embrace the suck and do it anyway. And I'm glad I did it because I got what I wanted out of it. I got I proved to myself that I can do this. Sweet. Done.
Yeah, I love that.
And everyone supported me on it too. Like people I worked with, the Brotherhood guys, everyone supported me with it.
Yeah.
Like when I told them I couldn't drink, they'd be like, no worries, that's okay. Or when I told
love
them,
that.
oh no, I got to go for a workout. That's okay. Like I remember one time I was at dinner with our friend Reese. Shout out Reese, come on the podcast.
We've got a lot of people coming on the podcast after this one.
We went out to dinner one time and I was like, Reese, I still got to do my second workout. And it was 11 o'clock, and so we just went for a walk along Surfers Paradise.
Oh, that's so nice.
It was a lot more than 45 minutes. We went for 2 hours. It was long. But I got the 45 minutes done before midnight. So
I forgot about this time. Yes, 2 45-minute workouts. Yes.
Not 1 hour and a half workout. It has to be 2 individual workouts.
Yeah.
I think that there was an old rule. I'm not sure. I don't think it still exists because I haven't seen it anywhere, on the app or anything, where the workouts had to be 3 or 4 hours in between.
Oh.
I think it used to be a rule. I don't think it is anymore.
I wouldn't have worked for your schedule.
Not at all.
No.
Actually, it would have. Actually, no, it wouldn't have.
No.
Yeah.
And who would you recommend this challenge to?
I mean, anyone could do it, really. Obviously, everyone has excuses to not do it. I'm busy. I don't feel like it. I don't want to.
Yeah.
And obviously that's fair enough. If you don't want to, then sweet, don't do it. But I feel like the challenge comes to those people who need it at that point in time.
You clicked on this podcast for a reason, people.
Exactly right. And so if you feel like you want to do it, then go ahead. And if you fail, then that's okay. You think about, okay, why did I fail? Was it because I was disorganized? Was it because I wasn't disciplined? Was it because of so many reasons? You look at why you failed, and then if you want to try again, then you try again.
And be organized.
and be more organized. That helped. Actually, that's probably one of my biggest things that I got from this challenge was being organized, because I was never organized. That's why I failed the first time, because I forgot to meal prep.
Yeah.
And then it came to a Saturday, and I was working 11 hours, and I was like, well, I don't have any food.
Yeah, and then you're so hungry.
Yeah.
And your brain's like, I can't think of healthy things. I just want anything right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I gotta stop this. So I failed, and then I looked at where I failed, and there was a lot of reasons, and then I guess the challenge came to me again at the right time.
Yes.
And so I did it, and obviously I was prepared and ready because I completed it. So I think overall it was a good experience. But it's like one of those experiences, like you're doing a running race where it sucks during.
Yeah.
But then once you complete it, you're like, that was nice.
And you feel so proud of yourself.
Exactly.
And you like have unlocked a new level of yourself. Because now whenever you might like have a lot on, or you're like not sure if you can do something, you can be like, well, I fucking did a very disciplined challenge for 69 days straight. I can do this.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's awesome.
You put it all into comparison. Like I can compare like any challenge that I do now to that, and it's like, oh well, it's probably not going to be as hard.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, sweet, let's do it.
So what would you say are your top 5 takeaways from this challenge?
Top 5 takeaways. Be more organized.
Yeah, love that.
Rest days are quite nice.
Yes.
Nice to sleep in sometimes.
Yeah.
Another takeaway. Find a supportive group of people that will help you through it. That's a really big one. But obviously, also be disciplined within yourself.
Yeah.
Because even if people don't support you, you still have to get through it.
Yeah. But it's so much easier.
Oh, of course.
And your circle should. It's a bit of a red flag if they're like, no, don't do that. That's silly.
Don't be disciplined.
Stop being friends with them.
Yes, find your friend group. New friend group. Come on the podcast.
Come on. The season is going to be really long.
Yeah. All my suggestions. Hey, look, if you get John Cena on the podcast and Jay Shetty, look, we're winning.
Yeah, definitely.
Number
4.
4. I would say, I can't really say organize yourself, but like, be conscious of what you're doing as well. Like, so when you're drinking water, when you're doing exercise, when you're reading, you should be conscious of exactly what you're doing so you can get like the full benefit. Because if you're just going through the motions, then like, what's the point of even doing it? You can't just go through the motions. You have to step into what you're doing. You have to step into the present of what you're doing right now. And I feel like that also makes it a little bit easier. Because then it's not just mind-numbing stuff that you're doing. It's like, okay, it's got a purpose. It's making me fitter, making me stronger, and making me more disciplined. So I think be conscious of what you're doing is the 4th one. And the 5th one is to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are going to be days where it sucks and it hurts and you don't want to do it anymore and you just want to stop. But if you just keep moving forward, shout out Disney.
You have a tattoo that says "Keep moving forward" for the people who can't see it.
Yeah,
and it has
Zoom in.
Little
Disney
Mickey Mouse.
The Mickey Mouse head. Yeah,
head.
It's pretty cute.
It's really cute.
Keep moving forward because there's going to be times where you hit a wall. Like I would hit a wall maybe every 3 weeks. There would be like a time where it's just like, I can't do this. It's so hard, and it was just really difficult sometimes. It's just like, I just want to go to bed. I just want to sleep. I just want to do anything else. But I was like, hey, you just got to keep moving forward.
Far out.
You just got to trudge through. You got to do what needs to be done to finish the challenge.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't doing it for anyone else. I was doing it for me. If I failed, people would be like, oh well.
Yeah,
but
no one cares, actually.
No one can care, but I care.
Yeah, exactly.
And so if I failed, I'd be like, Jamieson, you're a failure. Like you always have been.
Oh.
And so now it's like, okay, well, now I'm not a failure. Now it's like, okay, now I've done this, and I feel like it's changed things. But there's also that catch-22 where it's like, I completed it, and now what? Like, that was my purpose for so long, for 10 weeks. That's a long time. And now it's like, well, what do I do? Like, the last couple of days, I've kind of just been sitting at home, like, I don't have any motivation to do anything. 'Cause it's
That's so interesting.
I think maybe because it's also Christmas time.
Yeah.
But it's like I didn't even go for a workout this morning because I woke up to go for it. But I was just like, nah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm doing a workout this afternoon, so that should be fine. But it's just like I gotta find a new goal, a new purpose, something else to strive for. Because I feel like that's what we all need. We all need something to strive for, something to move towards. Something in my next goal, I don't know, might be I'm thinking of getting back into running in the new year and doing like a trail marathon down in Victoria.
That'll be awesome.
It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But it's going to be something to train for.
Exactly.
Like young Adam Green, we'll see on the podcast soon.
He would have already been posted by now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Even better.
There you go.
Go watch that podcast episode if you haven't. Shout out.
Amazing.
Shout out to Attitudes with Andy. Great podcast if you haven't listened to it already. Yeah, because he told me, because he just did the 100K race, which I'm sure would have been on that episode.
Yeah.
And he told me, he's like, oh, Jamieson, there's another race coming up. You should do it. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing 100Ks because I'm only 19 and my body, I guess, is still developing and growing. It's like 100Ks isn't good for the body, so I'm not going to do that.
I'm like, surely it's not really healthy.
Yeah. So maybe when I'm older, I'll do it, but not at 19. So I'll probably just do the shorter one. So I feel like that'll be my next goal.
Yeah.
So I'm going to work towards and something to give me purpose.
Yeah.
Instead of like this little middle ground that I'm in right now where it's like I'm just living.
Yeah.
I'm just existing, sorry. Like my lock screen on my phone is just one simple quote. It's like, don't just exist, live. And it's really big because like a lot of people, they just go around the world just existing. They just go through the motions. They just go to work, come home, go to bed, eat food. They don't really have any purpose. And I feel like that's, like I felt very mortal the last couple of days because I haven't been eating the best food. And I haven't been drinking as much water. I'm like, is this how like a lot of people feel like every day? And I'm like, and I've been sleeping in. And I'm like, is this like, I don't like this. Like, but now that I know the other side of the coin, I know both sides now. It's like, okay, well, even though I'm eating yummy, delicious food, it's not good for me. And so instead of eating what tastes good, I eat what makes me feel good on the inside.
I really like that you touched on like now that that's over, you're in like a bit of a lull. And I'm actually, like, I didn't even think of that, but now that you've said it, I'm like, actually, that's like a really common thing when you're like grinding and you're working so hard towards something and then you finish it or you get there and then you're like, oh, now what? Yeah. And then it's just like, finding the next thing to channel all that energy in. And it's very interesting because some people wish for an easy life, but that's actually not where you feel the best.
No, not at all.
Like, you know, sleeping in, going for like a walk on the beach. I mean, I always love a walk on the beach, but you know what I mean? Like just chill versus like wake up early, going to the gym, eating well, working on your goals, you know, all of that. And like definitely time and a place to chill, as we said. But yeah, it's just interesting that actually what we want is challenge because challenges are good and they make you level up.
Yeah. Well, it's like probably David Goggins said it. I'm not sure. It's something he would say, but it's like being fit and healthy and strong is hard, but also being lazy and unhealthy is also hard in its own way. So you got to choose what hard you want. Yeah,
choose your hard. I love that quote so much. And anytime I'm thinking, fuck, this is really hard, I'm like, yeah, but Andy, the alternative is even harder. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, got it. So I just wanted to say, first of all, well, thank you for coming on. Thank you for your energy. I've loved it. And I also, through these 69 days of like, because I knew you before you started this, I actually have seen you really blossom and I've seen you just like send it even harder and like even your like vibes around like the brotherhood and like how much you push yourself in a workout is really awesome. And it's so interesting hearing that you were like, fuck, I just didn't want to do any of those workouts because when I saw you, you were like, hey, how you going? And like your energy was also like always so brilliant. So I just wanted to say that you have really glowed up these last 69 days.
As a win.
As a win.
We need that external validation sometimes.
Yes. So to end this podcast, to rip wrap, I've got the fast five. So I'm just going to ask you a question. You just got to answer it, whatever comes to your mind.
Wicked fast.
Oh, wicked fast, hot, quick. Wizardy do. Okay.
I like it. That's it.
Thank you. So the first question I have for you is, what is your favorite book?
So my favorite book is The Power of One by Bryce Courtney.
Oh, okay. The Power of One.
Very good.
All right. I'll put that on the list. The next question I have for you is, who is your biggest inspiration?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm not sure.
Or one of your inspirations. If you could like meet with them, hang out with them.
The celebrity crush count.
Yeah, sure.
I always liked Henry Cavill. He was always my favorite because he's Superman.
Oh.
I would say biggest inspiration is me in the future.
Ooh, I love that.
So me in 5-10 years is my biggest inspiration.
I like that. And then you can
cut out the Henry Cavill part. Just go straight to that.
Yeah. Cut that out. I am. No, that's good. What is the worst piece of advice you've ever been given?
Worst piece of advice I've ever been given? I guess I just ignore it when I hear it. It's a hard question.
I know, because you usually, just don't really pick it up. Like, I'll give you an example, like, people saying like, oh, just get a safe job that pays well. Or, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like the worst piece of advice I got wasn't really advice. It was just something people say is like, motivation is key.
Oh,
which we've obviously talked about is not the key.
It's false.
Fake news.
Fake news. Okay, well, then what is the best piece of advice you've been given?
There's two.
Okay.
One of them I've already mentioned, keep moving forward. Obviously, it's amazing. It's really simple, helps, best 3 words ever. But another one that's really helped me through a lot of things, not just the challenge, but also just life in general, was you are exactly where you're supposed to be at this point in time.
I love that. You are, and you have everything you need to do what you want to do. Exactly. And the last one is, the people listening, if you could embed a thought, a habit, a mindset into the listeners' brains that would better themselves, what would it be?
I think don't think, just do. Just say if it's early in the morning, you're supposed to get up for a workout, don't think about it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Like 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
Just 3, 2, 1, go. Get out of bed and get dressed and get in the car and go. Because once you're there, you're there. Like, you
exactly.
might as well do it.
Yeah.
It's that little tiny couple seconds of you getting out of bed that's the hardest part in the world.
So if the people want to find the old Jumbo Mumbo, where can they find you?
You can find me on the Attitudes with Andy podcast, latest episode. If you've watched that, then that's pretty cool. Or I'm just on Instagram at Jambogster. People always ask me where that name came from, and it was my mum came up with it when I asked her for a Minecraft username back in 2012. And so now it's my name for everything.
Thanks, Mum.
Thanks, Mum.
That's great.
On the podcast. She'd be great on the podcast, actually.
There's just so many people going on this podcast. And I'll also put it in the show notes because people are like, how do you spell that? Well, it's going to be down there. Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. You're welcome. When I heard about it, I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Well, I've always wanted to be on a podcast, but it's like I've never had anything to talk about.
But now you do.
Now I do.
Now he does.
Start something new. Soon I'll be on Joe Rogan and Jay Shetty's podcast. Oh my God.
Exactly. They're not as big as me, but they're all right.
They'll get there. They'll get there one day.
Yeah. No. All right. Thanks, guys, for listening. If you did enjoy this, feel free to screenshot it, put it on your story, and tag us. My Instagram is @andy.bentley_. Share it around to somebody who you think would benefit from this, who would love a good challenge. And spreading the good word really does help share this podcast around, because obviously this is all for free. There's no advertising, nothing like that. So it's all done from you guys being beautiful humans. No, unfortunately not. Getting paid in hugs. Okay. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys next week for another episode. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.